What's going on, everybody? This is Real Deal here, and I got a new quick impressions for you. It's been a while since I've done this series, but I found a cool game on Game Pass called Monster Sanctuary, which is a side-scrolling platformer slash monster tamer game. So Pokemon, but side-scrolling. At least the initial kind of couple of, like 2 hours that I played. But I saw a few people talk about this and decided to check it out on Game Pass. Which Game Pass got a lot of like interesting indie games this past week that I want to check out, but we got some bigger games, or at least I got some bigger games to check out with Cyberpunk and stuff. But here you get to choose from your starter Pokemon, your starter monster. The Spectral Lion, Spectral Toad, Spectral Eagle, and Spectral Wolf. They all got different kind of like stats to start out, and some have fire, some have wind, some have water. I went with the Spectral Wolf because I just think it looks cool. Yeah, it was just kind of like the opening, like explaining the world, which it doesn't go too deep. It's pretty basic. So yeah, I'm pretty sure your monsters can evolve and stuff, so should be cool to see how that happens. I'm horrible at naming names, so I thought Wolf was just too generic and not great, so I went the extra mile and called him, wait for it, Wolfie. So there you go. Wolfie, my starter ice wind monster. I appreciate how we just call them monsters in this game too. We don't have some like Ooblets term or whatever, like oobly booblies or something. Or whatever they call them. Or demons and monster crown. Was it demons? I think so. So here's a tutorial battle, just show how things go off. I wasn't really like wowed by the side-scrolled look of battles when I saw like screenshots, but I think it kind of works pretty well for the most part after playing it. Because you can avoid the monsters if you really want to and stuff like that, and I think the animations and the look of the monsters some of them look generic, like Blob here, but some of them look kind of interesting and cool, and it is like the early section, so but you get a rating after each battle, which determines the better rating, the better chance of getting rare loot, which I really don't understand the loot in this game because it just seems not overly important, but you get eggs from monsters and that's how you get more monsters. So Blob is gonna be Blob because I didn't expect Blob to be good at all. It turns out Blob is pretty solid. So don't poo-poo Blob, because he's got some nasty poison thing going on, I'll tell you that. But I'll be jumping ahead throughout this video just to show you more of the game. So once you have at least 3 monsters, battles are usually 3 versus 3, even though you do have your backup 3 that you can switch out. And then it's really a game about elemental weaknesses, just like Pokemon. But I think this game has much more of a focus on it. Plus a focus on buffs and debuffs. Which, the later I got into it, the more it became a factor. And I'm interested to see how much that plays a role, like in the later game stuff. Like how important is debuffing and buffing and healing and all that. But just in this early section, I mean, you can just keep attacking, and the buffs do help, you know, but it's just like keep attacking them with their weaknesses and they go down. But there is a lot more strategy in this game than you would initially think. And I think some of like the battles later on will show a little bit of that. But you got equipment you can give these guys, and you got skill points. And the skill points, basically you're leveling up like your different moves, your 4 moves, and you can unlock more moves if you only have like 1 or 2. But you're putting skill points into them and making like small buffs to stuff. Like I put a skill point into attack that leached like 15 health every time I did damage. So I'm sure you can really kind of like create some really good builds and stuff like that. So you can kind of make your monsters more diverse than just, hey, this is Pikachu, he does these attacks mostly, and that's kind of it. He's electric. At least with this, you're like, okay, they can kind of specialize in like being more defensive or offensive, or focusing on buffing, or just really go into like status effects and stuff. At least some of the monsters can do that. As far as the platforming goes, pretty simple. You can use your monster's abilities to go around, but it's pretty much like, hey, jump over here, jump over there, give us chest. And the jump is kind of weird. It feels like 2 steps too long, if that makes sense. It feels like you're really jumping for long periods of time. And there I use my bird to get across the gap. There I use my Wolfie to cut the vines. And here we got some cat berserkers, or cat zerkers. So where's the blob guy? His slime shot. Pretty decent. Say that, because put some poison on him. And I feel like the poison and bleeding effects are pretty useful, at least early on. But I like how the game tells you the weaknesses of the monsters beforehand and lets you set up your party if you want to. So you're really just game planning to out weakness the other side. As far as like combat goes, there's like mana, which I think you can run out of mana and you have to wait for it to recharge in order to do some attacks. But it wasn't really an issue for the most part. Besides like some of my weaker monsters, they would just run out of mana quicker. But like Wolfie never ran out of mana. So it'll be interesting to see how that stuff evolves. You can equip equipment to them, which I got so much equipment that I just kind of like it went over my head after a while. I feel like I got too much loot from Treasure Chest. Yeah, I got a Cat Zerker egg there. Cat Zerker was pretty solid because can do some nice critical damage. So So Katzerka was a mainstay in my party after this. I was gonna add some weird name to Katzerka, but I couldn't think of anything. And Vero I got before this. Like I said, I just kind of edited this video a bit to like break up the... There's a lot of battles, so... And they're all not going to be different. Yeah, Katzerka, I think I gave him a fire clause because I needed fire. But I'm interested to see like just how the skill like points and stuff work out deeper you go. Because I do like that system. It kind of, like I said, it adds more variety to how you can create or power up your monsters. Okay, so I jumped kind of way ahead to this guy who we're supposed to meet. He's gonna teach us stuff, even though I didn't really need to learn anything. But I think the game looks pretty solid. I like the art. Isn't like wowing anybody, but it gets the job done. So like I said, you can see the weaknesses, strengths, and what they are basically on the screen, and you can make adjustments. Switch out your monsters. He has 3 blobs because, of course, he does. I guess I should also add a combo system, which I didn't fully grasp yet, but from what I can tell, the more actions and damage you do in your turn, the higher your combo and damage meter goes, which increases your just damage that you do. So I did like 40 or 60% more damage on the next attack, because it's 160, so it's more than 100% damage. Like I said, we do like little small things that kind of like spice things up, where there's a lot more strategy than just you would think about. Oh, you just do the elemental weaknesses and that's it. But there's a lot more to it, which I appreciated and made the fighting more interesting than I thought it would be, and more interesting than a lot of these monster collecting games, but not being like overly convoluted and not fun. I like a good balance between simple, just like, hey, yeah, this guy's weak to water, do that, cool. I just like a good balance of Pokemon simpleness and like some deeper elements that you can kind of go more into if you really want to. I feel like this game has that. And it's out on, like I said, Game Pass, PC and Xbox Game Pass, Steam, PlayStation, Switch, probably a good Switch game. I feel like it's every indie game is a good Switch game. There you go. That was that battle. And then next up, after Sky Talks, we're gonna be doing a champion battle, which is a boss battle with like a unique monster. So yeah, it is a boss battle. So here we go. Boss battles, just tougher monsters. They do a lot more damage. They take a lot less damage. They got big health bars, special music. you know what to expect. Music's pretty solid too. I don't think I switch anybody out, no. So Sidekick is a buff, like it says right there. So is Might. So like I said, some monsters are just gonna be your buffing type monsters, and some are gonna be specialized in like melee damage or physical damage, and some are gonna be focused on more mana moves and stuff like that. Overall, this fight wasn't too tough. I mean, I over-leveled probably up to this point because I fought a lot of stuff and I explored. But yeah. And Cat Zerker, it's pretty good. Like, especially when you can get some bleeding going on with Cat Zerker, and you add stuff that increases its critical chance and critical damage. It's a pretty solid monster. Anyways, I think I'll just wrap up my commentary at this point. You can watch the rest of the video, see the end of this battle, but it's not like a game that's gonna, like, it's what you kind of expect, but it's a little bit more to it than just initial impressions. And I think if you enjoy kind of these monster collecting games, or you're just kind of looking for a smaller game in between all the big games, I think this is pretty solid and it's pretty interesting. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I'll keep checking it out. Hopefully when I have more time, but it's a cool game. Perfect for Game Pass, really. And yeah, so Monster Sanctuary, thumbs up. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I've been Real Deal. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I'll see you in another Quick Impressions. I'm trying to make these Quick Impressions videos quicker and shorter. It's kind of hard to do sometimes, so I'm doing my best. But thanks for watching. See you later.